Hello friends, this is Ilona with Ilona Baba Therapy. I hear a lot from parents that they're learning all of those new gentle ways to discipline their children. They read all the wonderful advice that they find online and they're trying to implement those strategies with their children. But every time they do, they get disappointed because they don't see the improvement that they're expecting, and their children are not miraculously changing overnight. And then they feel like giving up. And even you maybe are one of those parents. You feel like the gentle, respectful, and conscious parenting style is not for you or your family. You might even conclude that your children just won't listen unless you resort to the old methods of disciplining, like threatening, punishing, yelling, or using rewards, and so on. I hear you. It is very hard to change the dynamic of parenting, especially if in the beginning of your journey you use those methods like punishing, threatening, yelling, and so on. And you did it probably because they were familiar to you. Chances are that you were parented like that as a child. Probably your parents didn't know other ways to handle the developmentally normal behaviors that you had as a child. And most likely they learned that way of disciplining from their parents. And even though before having children you always said you're never going to punish your children or threaten them because you knew how painful that was, you still find yourself doing that automatically when you're in a stressful situation or a conflict with your children. And one of the reasons that this is happening is because our mind creates shortcuts. They're called neuropathways. And our mind creates them in our early years of development because this is our mind's way to learn and organize things in order to protect us in the future. We learn how to deal with stress, danger, and strong emotions from what we experience. And then we use that information later in life when we don't necessarily have the time to focus, analyze, or think of a solution to whatever it is that's happening to us. And those become strategies that we use in life because they help us navigate through life easier. So having said that, even when you learn those new methods and tools, they won't be your first option when you get triggered or stressed or tired or overwhelmed. The mind will use the old ways, the shortcuts, every time because it thinks that those are the ways to protect you. So before you're able to use the new information, you must unlearn the old ways of reacting. You must release that old programming that you created as a child. And this is exactly what we do in therapy. I help parents release those old, outdated strategies and create new ones that would serve the purpose that they have today. So using this opportunity, I want to take a moment and applaud and congratulate all the parents that are putting in the effort to break the cycle. This is hard work. It's a lot easier to remain in the position of a victim and just blame others. Some parents blame their children for not listening. Some blame their parents for not giving them the respectful and kind discipline that they deserved, and so on. But the truth is, what they're really trying to avoid is confronting their past and take responsibility for their actions today. And as your children get older, it's harder and harder to change how you discipline them because they too create those shortcuts. And they're accustomed to a certain way of things going, like a certain way of a dynamic. If you don't change that now, with time, you will get more and more disconnected from your children, and they will be less and less influenced by you and your advice. Your children are the most precious and valuable investment that you're ever gonna do in your life. They don't need you to be perfect, but they do deserve a kind, respectful, calm, and healthy discipline. As always, I'm here for you. Just shoot me a message if you have any questions or want to share any thoughts that might have come up as you watch this video. I would be very happy to hear from you. Until next time, take care.